Welcome to the Hilarity Ensues podcast, hosted by Donna, the queen of quick wit, and Jeff, the dean of devious double entendres. Together, they're on a mission to find the funny in life using nothing but their critical thinking skills and sarcasm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hilarity Ensues. I'm your host, Donna, and joining me here today is my co-host,
Jeff.
We're back at it again. In today's story, we are going to be talking about Hunter Biden.
The laptop guy.
The laptop guy.
The crack guy.
The crack guy. The guy that has a potty mouth just like his daddy. And I'm so here for it these days.
Yes. Very refreshing.
It's very refreshing. Today's episode isn't about politics. It's really about addiction, recovery, family, and what happens when one of the most controversial people in America, they tell their own story. And that will be Hunter Biden. So, Jeff, you've seen some of his interviews, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah, I've seen a few of them. I knew about the story. And there's one thing I forgot to mention that a lot of people may or may not know about Hunter Biden. His endowment, allegedly. I haven't seen it, thankfully, but there's an alleged video on his laptop with that going on. But anyway, so I saw him. I'm a Candace fan. I'm gonna go ahead and admit that. I wasn't at first, but she kind of won me over with some things that she covers. And one of my favorite interviews of hers was, this is a quote: "Hunter and I crack the internet." That's the title of the podcast. It was like 2 hours long. It was absolutely fantastic. And Candace is known as I would say, former right winger. I mean, she's still known, locked in as right. Obviously, Hunter is left. And as we're going to mention, Hunter is on everybody's podcast. It doesn't matter left leaning or right leaning or in the middle. He just wants to get his story out there and get some feedback and just discuss his life. Like, there's a lot more things that we agree on than what we're disagreeing on. So that was what I gathered from the Candace interview. And I saw the I Had It podcast. I saw almost all of that as well, and that was some pretty good coverage and a lot of comedy in there.
I didn't see the Candace Owens interview. I did see the I Had It podcast, and I did see his interview with Don Lemon. What I will say with both of those interviews, what surprised me most was just his honesty.
100%.
He didn't make any excuses, no attempts to kind of sanitize his addiction. He openly discusses living in motels while being addicted to crack cocaine.
Yeah. And that's a normal story I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. Go on.
Oh, not a normal story for the son of a president, just living in a hotel, smoking crack, and then your dad is the president of the U.S. It's just his position. It just seems weird.
He also admitted in that interview that he wasn't present for his family.
Mm-hmm.
He completely abandoned his family. And here's what people don't know when it comes to addiction is that there are over 48 million Americans over the age of 12 that have experienced some form of substance abuse in the past year.
That is huge.
That is very huge. And so that's like 1 in every 6 people that you encounter, they struggle with some form of addiction. It may be alcohol, it might be prescription medication, it may be the hard stuff, methamphetamines, crystal meth, cocaine, crack, pain pills, Percocets, Oxycontin, the prescription stuff. So that's really huge in this country on a whole. And a lot of people, 95%, I'm going to go with the stats here. 95% of people with substance or substance use disorder do not receive treatment.
Damn. Okay.
And the common reason is because, would you say 99.9% of the times, what's the reason?
Money.
Yeah, it's money, it's cost.
Mm-hmm.
It's lack of access. It's the fear of stigma. How are you going to be viewed? No one wants to this is a disease and it is a disease. And I say that specifically. Addiction is a disease.
Yes.
And when someone comes and says they have cancer, you're sympathetic to them. When someone comes and says they're struggling with crack or cocaine or alcohol, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of look sideways and you don't view it the same.
Right.
It's very much the same.
Right. Yeah. I did. I was one of those people that looked at them that way, like, come on, man, just tighten up. You can resist it, but yeah, it's very crippling.
I have a very close family member to me that I'm not going to call him by name. I'm sure he wouldn't mind, but I'm not going to do it. That he has struggled with addiction since the age of 15.
Wow.
And he's been in and out of recovery treatment centers over the last 40 plus years.
It's a long time.
And during the pandemic, he was no longer in a place where he could go to meetings. We were being confined and he relapsed. They call it going back out. He went back out.
Mm.
And just recently, January of this year, he made a decision to go into a sober treatment facility. And he did so because he was like, I don't think I'm going to live if this goes on any farther for me. And he was out for 6 years. That was the longest he's ever been out. Prior to that, he was sober for over 7 years. And in going to these meetings, what I found is the 8-year mark is the most challenging mark for most addicts. Something about that turning point that a lot of them do relapse at that point. And he was right around that period of time. But he went in there and you can check yourself in for 30 days, for 60 days, 90 days. And that's, I think, the longest term. And he was like, I'm going to do 90 days in here.
That's solid.
That made that decision. But your 90 days doesn't start until you come out of detox. And he was in detox for 8 days. So I say all that, when Hunter Biden was talking about his journey with addiction, I could so relate to it because people are like, well, why are you doing crack? It's like, because it feels good.
Yeah. He was extremely honest about that. Like it's pretty cut and dry when you think about it. It feels, from what I hear, it feels better than sex. I've heard that from multiple addicts that like it's better, it's way better than sex.
Yeah. And that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
You kind of slipped that in, but okay. Yeah. But I've heard that from a lot of addicts. And imagine this. Imagine someone telling you, you know what, just stop having sex today.
Oh, that's not good.
And you have access to it. I'm not talking about the people that don't have access to sex, but you have access to sex and, you have a partner or partners or whatever. And someone says, you need to stop today.
Yeah, that would be pretty tough. No.
It's a hard thing to do. So I am going to say this. He's my business now. Actually, he's 7 months sober now. Very proud of him. And in listening to Hunter's interview, where he talks about his journey of sobriety, is having a cause, something to champion. And I think that's why he's taken it to the streets, as I put it, in doing all these interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Because the most dangerous place for an addict to reside is in their thoughts.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So having something to do, having a cause, having responsibilities keeps your mind active so you don't risk the relapse. But it was so amazing watching that interview. And what that interview showed is that addiction doesn't affect one specific demographic.
No, although if you watch enough news, it may seem that way, but yeah, it's spread out.
Hunter Biden, his father was a lifelong politician, vice president, and he struggled with it. And this is me. I'm not a therapist, nor do I want to play one here on this podcast. But sometimes there's traumas that lead into these addictions, things that happen that you don't fully recover from. And people forget he was a little boy when he lost his mother. Mm-hmm. And his sister. And so, and he also lost his brother in the latter years. So there's a lot of things, and not to mention the weight of your father being very recognizable.
Yeah, extremely. A lot of pressure.
And he looks just like his daddy.
Yeah, there's no escaping that.
There's no escaping that. So
No need for Maury.
no. Joe Biden is the father. Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
In his transparency, one of the things that he says is that in order to go through recovery, you have to be honest with yourself. And the other thing that I've learned, because I go to a lot of meetings, not a lot, but I do support this family member and I go to meetings with them, is that in order for someone, because once you're an addict, you're always an addict. You could be sober, but you're always an addict.
Always an addict. Yeah.
Always an addict. And in order to enter into sobriety, you have to reach a point of what they call surrender.
Mm.
You have to be willing to surrender. And your family can't talk you into it. Friends can't talk you into it. A priest, an exorcist, no one can talk you into it. You yourself. Yeah, it's true. There's stories way back in the day where people would bring priests in to try and exorcise demons out.
I believe it.
Yeah. So shout out to the Catholic Church. But anyway, so you have to be willing to say, you know what? This is enough. I'm going to surrender at this point and I'm going to focus on my sobriety. So he obviously reached that point, took accountability, acceptance. There's radical honesty in all of his interviews. And what I like about it is he has taken control of his life. He's like, I'm not going to let anyone tell my story. I'm going to tell the truth and shame the devil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of untruths going around about him. But, when he admit to being a crackhead, like all the other stories, they just blend in. They sound like, basically noise. So they're like, oh, yeah, he did this. Oh, okay, yeah, he probably did that just because he did crack. So two things can be true. He could be still a good person overall, but he also
one of the biggest, you talk about some untruths that were told about him was when they found a little packet of cocaine.
Yes, that's funny. Yeah, somebody tried to bust him out on Twitter when that was a big news, and then he came back like immediately. He said, "I would never forget my drugs." He goes, "That's so wrong. Like, why?" Plus, he's a crack. I mean, there's a difference. I mean, I'm not an expert on this, but I did watch 2 hours, or actually 3 hours, of him talking about it. So there's a difference between a coke user and a crack user. Just the preparation of it. So the crack just gets into the system way faster. He would not have a bag of coke for very long because he would turn that into crack and then he would have smoked it and it would have been gone. There's no way in hell that he would have just crack laying around as, oh, you know what? I forgot my crack.
But to his point, I am not leaving $2,000 worth of drug behind anywhere. And if I did and I realized I left it behind, I would go back and get it.
Yeah. There's no way.
It's not like Mentos or, some chewing gum that fell out your pocket and you're like, I'll just buy another pack. No. If you've ever been around an addict, they are very, very much aware.
Yes. Hyper aware. Hyper focused.
Where their stash is.
I saw an article after I watched the first interview, and he said that he was doing crack every 20 minutes. So as soon as he's done, like the high, the trade-off for the high is super high. It's much better than, I guess, cocaine, which is insane. But it goes down fast as well. So it's just done. So after that, he's like, I'm back to normal. I need another high. I need another hit.
Well, the danger with crack, and I grew up in New York during crack epidemic when it first was dropped on the streets in the 80s, is that, and this is what I've been told by addicts, is that you can never meet your first hit.
Okay, they're always chasing it.
Yeah, so you're always chasing it. Your first hit is the most amazing feeling, like you said, way better than sex. And then every time you take another hit, you're trying to get that same feeling, and it doesn't happen.
That's got to be a bit frustrating.
So that's hence why I do believe that 20 minutes, because he's trying to chase that. He's trying to get that feeling. And as quick as he gets up is as quick as it goes down, and you have to rinse and repeat that.
Oof, it sounds terrible.
It sounds very terrible. And one of the things that I found out from going to meetings is that drugs and alcohol are the big taboo items, but people have other addictions as well. There are people that are addicted to gambling. There are people that are addicted to sex. There are people that are addicted to food. So there's so many things. People are addicted to shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a gene, and some of us more than others have that gene of addiction.
True.
Where we can't stop when that pleasure center is hit.
Yes. I just saw the one too that a lot of people listening to us right now may or may not be addicted to. You hold it in your hand every day.
Cell phone.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that how many weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago. It's been a month now. I deactivated all my social media accounts.
Wow. I'm proud of you.
Well, don't be too proud yet. The accounts for our show are still active. I don't really go into that. But yeah, I stopped doing it. And I can turn off my phone. I just turned off my phone for this podcast before we got started. I turned off my phone. I put it down because I do understand that process where people become so dependent on it. It is like their own crack pipe that they're like, where is it? Where's it at?
Right.
I need to pick it up. So yeah, that's another addiction that people have. And very few people can detach or decompress from it. Like I have focuses set on my phone where my phone shuts off at 10 o'clock at night, meaning I can't get any calls in. It's on a sleep mode, and it turns back on at 7 o'clock in the morning.
That's a good move.
So
Restful sleep.
Restful sleep. No one's calling. One of the reasons I mainly did it is because I have family members that live in different time zone, and no one can do math when it comes to time. So rather than getting a call at like 5 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, you know what? Let me just
turn this off.
But you mentioned he was on Candace Owens. I'm curious, how did that interview go?
It was what's the word I'm looking for? It was not intense, but she was one of his biggest naysayers. And she was just basically spitting out the same, BS about certain things, laptop, this and that, money deals, et cetera, like that. And he goes, well, one thing you were correct was I am a crackhead. Like he owned that. But he broke it down and said this, this thing happened, this didn't happen. And they talked about that for a little while, but then they just talked about just different things that they're looking at going on, with our government without getting too political. And they agreed on a lot of things. So that's what I was like impressed with, and of course, with his honesty. But yeah, she did ask him about the crack. She did talk about the cocaine in the office, and he explained like how difficult and how few people get into that area. Plus, being a president's son, even though he's not currently president, because this happened recently. So he still has a detail. He has a detail that follows him around. So in addition to getting into this very tight, secure space, he has his detail following him. Because just imagine, oh, hold on, buddies. I forgot my crack real quick. My cocaine, excuse me. Let me pick that up and then put it back in my backpack. So yeah, it was like physically like impossible. I don't know who it was. He threw out a few names. Possibly, we're not quite sure. But yeah, they talked about the how powerful the addiction is, how nothing is more important than getting that next hit, no matter what. It could be his firstborn is in an avalanche or something like that. And they're in the car that's on fire. Let me get this crack first. Let me get this crack. But he went to, I believe, 6 rehabs before it finally stuck. And I believe he's sober. I forgot the amount of years, but I think he's close to that 7 to 8 year deal.
Yeah.
A little bit longer. But yeah, he's been sober for a while. So people think because he hasn't been in the public eye, they just think, they see him, they think crackhead, they point at him like, oh, this guy's on crack. Like, no, he hasn't done crack.
I think he got sober in 2016. Correction, Hunter Biden has been sober since June 1st, 2019, making him 7 years sober.
16? Okay, so 10 years. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So he's past that hurdle. I remember when he's talking about it, I'm like, okay, he's past that 8-year hurdle.
Okay, so he's not, knock on wood, not going back to that. Yeah, he better not go back, all this talking he's been doing. But yeah, he's focused and just doing more positive things and just keeping his mind busy, his hands busy, with his artwork and whatnot. Because that was like a functional, what's the word? There's a thing for it. You probably know with your psychology background where you have to do something with your hands. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like it's not tapping, but
it's like
it's a way to
smokers have it too.
Yeah, it's a way to calm yourself.
Right. They have to do something, like just cigarette smokers just need something in between their fingers and just smoking. Not that they really need the nicotine, but they just need just the habit of that. So he's like, let me keep my hands busy. Let me keep my mind busy. Let me read more. So yeah, it's really, really a positive story. It was very funny though, because they would go at it. He goes, I remember when you said this. Like, he remembers very distinctly certain things. He goes, yeah, that hurt me. And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but that's what I thought at the time. And now we're here together, to air everything out and settle our differences and whatnot. So it was pretty cool to see that, because she was going hard at him in the paint for sure for a while, as a lot of people were.
A lot. And what's also interesting is that, because I think he mentioned it on the iHip podcast, that he went on her show and they asked him why, and he said before Charlie Kirk passed away, Charlie Kirk said the problem with liberals is that they don't venture into conservative spaces.
Yeah.
Those kind of interviews. So Hunter Biden took that as a challenge.
Okay.
Because part of the recovery process is facing your fears.
Right. Doing it anyway.
So he's like, you know what? I'm going to go into these spaces. I really like that. Good for him for recognizing that and saying, you know what? I'm going to go in and we're going to have these conversations. And there are more things that we have in common than what divides us. That was cool. They also talked about the laptop. And he said, I forgot how she segued into it, because she didn't want to talk about the laptop. And he was like, oh, we're talking about that again? She's like, no. She's like, but let's play a game. Whose laptop would you like?
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Would you like the world to see?
Yes, the first guy. I never thought about that. And then I saw a picture with him and another guy, and it looked a little sus.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a wife and kids, but a lot of guys fake that. I don't know how they fake it, but
no, it's a thing. Lavender marriages are a thing.
Yes.
Lavender marriages are a real thing, because you're in a space, especially politics, where I think Pete Buttigieg is the only person that's like, this is me, this is who I am. Everybody else is like, no, we can't do that. Hunter wasn't trying to out anybody in the process, but he did say the quiet part out loud, which most of us suspected, that there are a lot of people in political spaces, and the ones that have such a vitriol for, gays in our community are the ones that are closeted.
Right. Yeah. It's the ones that are talking the loudest, usually.
It's no secret that during the Republican National Convention, that grinding goes down.
I heard about that. Yeah.
And it's not been like a one-time thing. It's happened repeatedly.
Yeah, that is insane. That is wild. Never been on it, but
I know some people that have, but
yeah, it's heard it's a wild sight. Well, yeah, that is crazy that the site goes down every time.
And speaking of addicts, crystal meth makes you hypersexual.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very big in the gay community because they're very hypersexual. Apps like Grindr, you'll find a lot of gay men on it.
Okay. Wow.
So when we have these conventions and Grindr is going down, that's indicative of the sexual preference of the people that get around.
You said going down.
Going down.
Good to know.
Any closing thoughts you want to add to this dialogue?
Yes. If you have an addiction, don't be afraid to share it with your family. If you can afford it, check yourself in, or just share it with somebody close. Somebody's going to keep you honest. I mean, I'm no expert on that, but it does need to be addressed. It's not going to just go away on its own.
Yeah.
No matter what, whether it's food addiction, it could be carb addiction, which I think I might have. It could be porn addiction, sex addiction. addiction, excuse me. And of course the drugs and alcohol. And yes, weed can be addictive. I get that a lot. I know a lot of people that smoke weed and they said, no, I can quit at any time. But that's all they talk about. Like every other text is something about weed. I'm like, bro, who are you fooling? Who are you trying to fool? Me or yourself?
Just like cigarettes, that's an addiction as well. Yeah. So to your point, you cannot white knuckle through this. You are going to need help and support. Here's the good news is if you do not have medical coverage, I believe that Medicaid, Medicare, depending on your age group, will cover that with your employer. They have employee assistance programs that can help you through this as well. Reach out and get that help. That's the first step. First step is actually acknowledging that you do need help. And second step, reach out to someone so they can help you. Okay? Well, there you have it, folks. I know today we tried not to keep it too heavy, but I thought Hunter Biden himself, I look at him, I'm like, he does have a career in stand-up if he wanted to, because he's really funny.
Yes, he's very funny.
He's really funny, so do love him. One last note that he said, because they asked him during the interview, would he do a WW fight with
MMA match?
There we go, MMA match with Don Jr. or Eric. And he's like, I know they've never taken a punch in their life. But yeah, he said, but I wouldn't do it at the mega arena in front of the White House. I'll do it down in Liberty City, probably a mile away from where I used to buy crack.
Wow.
He said, I've thrown some punches. He's like, I've gotten my ass handed to me before, but I've thrown some punches. Again, transparency.
Yes.
You're not going to catch him in a lie. He owns everything. We try to keep today's show informative because this is an issue. Addiction is an issue that we're dealing with nationwide. It's one of those things that we try to sweep under a carpet and act like it doesn't exist when it does. So if you see someone that's struggling, be a support for them. Let them know that there are resources available to them and they're not alone. Before we go, Jeff, please share with our listeners how they can support our channel.
Okay, you can like, share, and subscribe. Share the show with everyone that you know. And if you are listening, listen all the way to the very end. If you want to hit us up with an email, we're at hilarityensewspod@gmail.com. Our TikTok handle is hilarityensewspod. Our Instagram handle is hilarityensewspodcast. And our Twitter handle is HEnsuesPod.
And there you have it, the many ways to connect with us. And as always, we may not have all the answers, but we'll definitely make you think and hopefully laugh a little in the process. Take care and goodbye for now.
All right, take care.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Hilarity Ensues. Our fantastic music soundtrack is brought to you by TL Music Productions exclusively for Hilarity Ensues. Be sure to connect with us on social media by following Hilarity Ensues Podcast.